My name's Kylie, and I'm obviously white. I grew up in a conservative white family, and I know there's been a lot of discourse about whether white people should talk about racism, and here's my argument for why I think that not only should we, but we have to. A lot of racism in white families occurs behind closed doors. I've been over at friends' parents' places and heard them say some pretty obscene things about people of color, assuming that I am on their side simply because I am white. Obviously, this makes for some awkward conversations when I do call them out, but point being, the depths of the racism and the darkness that seeps in deeply into these families can only, in my opinion, truly be exposed by other white people, because they will never be their full racist selves around anyone who is not white. They like to save face publicly and say that they're not racist, but then again, if you go into their homes and you hear the things they say, that would suggest otherwise. I just encourage you, if you're a white person and you know people like this, please say something. Don't just ignore it for fear of conflict.
On a video that talks about the government basically eliminating segregation laws, Robert Connolly here says, as a white person, I hope segregation is brought back because I'm tired of being around these people. So what I found from public record about Robert, especially over on his Facebook where he uses the same profile picture, is that he lives in or around the Detroit area, one of the most densely black populated towns. Why do you live there, Robert? If you are so disgusted with the black community, why do you live there? It looks like you have, some deep ties to the city of Detroit, and it has been a densely black populated town since long before you were ever even born. So my question is, do you think that the black population of Detroit wants you there? Someone who, and I'm quoting you, is tired of being around these people? I don't know, Robert. I didn't have the time to look up where you work. I'm sure someone will find out that information. But if you're struggling in life, if finding a job that pays well is hard for you and you have to live in your parents' basement or something to that effect, you might just want to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and move out of the city that is so densely populated with black people, since you hate being around them. But just for reference, friends, this is all public information, okay? He doesn't have much on here, but if you go to his information and you click on places that he likes, he's got Columbus, Coney Island, which is in Detroit. Right there on Verner Highway. And if you Google his name, you'll find this, where CBS News asked people about the old train station in Detroit, and someone named Robert Connolly has fond memories of the station and tells WWJ that he would like to see it returned to its former condition. So a lot of evidence to point that you do live in Detroit, but yet, quoting you again, you're tired of being around these people. Make it make sense. Now don't go playing victim. You said what you said. Own it.
I am also wondering, could it be that the whites that want segregation, they don't mean that they want segregation. They actually mean we want black people wiped out of the United States? Could it be that actually some white people out there are delusional enough to think they are going to have the United States of America to themselves? That black people are going to be kicked out of the entire country?
If you are not sure that all white people have opinions on racism, just bring it up the next time you're around a bunch of white people. Not only do we all have opinions, but they tend to be very emotionally charged, and that has nothing to do with whether they're informed or not. I have an opinion on virtually everything, but that does not make them informed. I don't believe you can grow up or spend any significant time in the United States without developing opinions on racism, and they will be emotional and strongly held. And again, that has nothing to do with whether they're informed. And in fact, if you are white and you have not devoted years of sustained study, struggle, and focus on this topic, your opinions are necessarily very limited. And no trip to Costa Rica, multiracial nieces and nephews, right? These are not sustained study, struggle, and focus. Now, how can I say that when I don't know most of the people in this room? And this, of course, is the first thing that tends to trigger white fragility, generalizing about white people. As a sociologist, I'm really comfortable generalizing about white people.
Some white people have made it their business to go into the comment sections of black people that are talking about segregation and how they're happy that segregation they want it back. The orange man wants it back. And yeah, some of these people, they're finding it in their hearts to go in the comment section of black people and disturb their peace and say, well, yeah, we would like to see your back on chains. Welcome to my channel. My name is Natskana Esther. If you're new here, hi, welcome. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, like, comment, and share. Let me know what you think in the comment section about this woman in particular, the white lady who exposed why some white people want segregation still. And I went to her page and I saw she was very, very aggravated by her very own people. Like, because so many people came into her comment section and they were like, okay, yeah, let them bring it back. Like, at the end of the day, we are still better than black people. And she decided to pull her out. And she was telling her people, y'all don't understand. So let me school you. And she did school them. However, in this video, as you watch it, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to hear your take on, do you think white people have learned their lesson about segregation? From the days of slave to the very until now that we are in 2025, let's say generations before the millennials. We're talking baby boomers and a generation before that. Do you think they are in a position where they understand where they are in history and how much the world has changed? And do you think they actually understand how powerful black people are right now?
You asked, do you think if it came down to it, more white people will stand up against their own racist counterparts?
So this lady posed the question. Do you think white people are going to be on the forefront? Let's say if now it is an outcry, it's an outburst that segregation is here. Do you think white people are going to take themselves out of their houses to go to the streets to fight for the right thing? Before we even watch her video, personally, y'all tell me what you think in the comment section. But personally, if them white people cannot go on the streets for themselves, they still need the help of black people. I'm still traumatized in my mind about how white people came on the internet asking black women, the 92%, for help. If they cannot go on the streets for themselves peacefully, where they know nothing is going to happen to them, do you think they're going to wake up and go do something right for black people when it's time for black people to sit back?
Okay, I know we're all kind of laughing about this idea of segregation coming back and white people are jumping ship left and right. Like, please let me be on the side of Beyonce and Jasmine Crockett and Barack Obama. I don't want to have nothing to do with Carrie Underwood and Kid Rock, right? Leave me out of it. So yeah, that's funny to sort of joke about, but segregation is not funny. It was more than just entertainment and which restaurant you could use and which water fountain you could use and whether or not you were allowed to use the public pool. Like, it affected so many other systemic things. Education, access to property ownership, banking. Like, it was really deeply bad. I'll do one of my presentations on Jim Crow and the segregated South, but I got so many requests to do a video on the Tulsa Massacre, and when I did, it got about 600 views. So clearly the algorithm is working against me on this one. I had millions of views of my Kendrick Lamar 40 Acres and a Mule video, and then when I did Tulsa, it got deeply suppressed. So I have to think, use my little mind and find a way out of that algorithmic hole and find a way for us to talk about what actually happened during the Crow era, and particularly the South of the United States, but the North too.